Welcome to OSM Operation Safe Mode Rerun Tuesday. In the Gospel, Jesus was speaking to his disciples about the baptism that he would have to suffer. We think of baptism as our initiation, and it truly is. So this Rerun Tuesday takes us back to which of these baptisms, as a quiz, are true baptisms and which one is not one of the appropriate baptisms that we may experience in our Catholic faith. Welcome to OSM, Operation Safe Mode, peace be with you, praying for a cure. As the summer wears on, so does our summer session of catechism. We've continued to give you an opportunity for some quiz questions so that you may grow in your faith and your opportunity to share those things that people ask often about the Catholic Church. Today our topic is baptism. Here is our question. There are three types of baptisms that are acceptable and sacramental in the Catholic Church. Which of these three is not an approved way to be baptized? And here are your choices. Baptism by water. B, baptism by desire. C, baptism by super soaker during a pandemic. And D, baptism by fire. So remember, you're choosing the one that is not a legitimate baptism in the Catholic Church. Okay, we're going to give you a few moments to review and make your choice. Okay, pencils down. I hope you had an opportunity to think through thoroughly here because this is a very important question, as I will explain. So let us look again at our question. There are three types of baptisms that are acceptable and sacramental in the Catholic Church. Which of these four is not the approved way to become baptized? Our first choice was A, baptism by water. Of course that is an approved way. We know baptism by water as how most of us have been baptized in our life. We will speak about that in a little bit. B, baptism by desire. If you choose this as the incorrect answer, you're wrong. Baptism by desire is also an approved way to be baptized. C, baptism by super soaker during a pandemic. Now the important part here is during a pandemic, when we have to be 6 feet away. That's not the right answer. That's foolishness. Church would never use a super soaker. Did you ever get hit with a super soaker? It knocks you right over. What if the priest hit the baby right in the eyeball? Not approved. Yeah, I'm laughing because that's pretty funny. D, baptism by fire. This too is an approved way for baptism. So let us review our correct answers. I'm sure you have your own thoughts about the super soaker. First, baptism by water. Now, of course, we know that Jesus was baptized into Jordan, and he was baptized by John. If you look at pictures of Jesus' baptism, you will see two different versions of Jesus' baptism, which really truly depict the two kinds of ways that we baptize with water. Sometimes you will see, and even in the sacred scriptures, that Jesus went down into the water, means he was submerged in the water, and when he came out of the water, there was a dove representing the Holy Spirit, and the clouds opened, and the Father spoke on Jesus' behalf, "This is my beloved Son." In other pictures of John the Baptist, you will see Jesus standing, and John pouring water over his head. That too is a form of baptism that most of us have been baptized, where the priest takes water and pours it over the baby's head. I baptize you in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. When one is fully immersed under the water, which is difficult to do in most churches, they will be baptized and submerged 3 times. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. The question of baptism by water that is not legitimate is that what we call sprinkling. One cannot be sprinkled with water. They must have water poured over their head to show the cleanliness that takes place. So the majority of us have been baptized by water. Our second true choice is baptism by desire. This is a very important recognition of what baptism is. Sometimes those who are preparing to go to the waters of baptism never have the opportunity truly to move in that direction. And their desire, if death comes prior to the waters of baptism, they are truly baptized in the desire to become a part of the church. This is still very important for us today, more than ever, because unfortunately, as it has happened with my own family, sometimes we're awaiting a birth of a child and there's a miscarriage, or the child is born and prior for the opportunity of baptism, the child dies. Then the parents always ask, Father, what happens to this child? They did not have the opportunity to be baptized. Well, that is what is called baptism by desire. When parents have had the desire of the child that they were bringing into this world to be baptized, it is their desire to baptize that baby without the waters of baptism. Remember, in baptism, the parents do speak on behalf of the child for the acceptance into the church. So hopefully that understanding of baptism and the desire will help us in those very, very tragic and difficult and sad times when our children do not reach the waters of baptism. It is also an opportunity for us to remember that the length of our lives is not a part of God's plan. His plan is to bring us all to heaven. And those little saints will always keep us in their prayers. And the final is baptism by fire. Now, this was something that was also part of the early church. In the early church, they must prepare to study and enter into an area of catechesis, and they're called catechumens. And while they were preparing, in the early days of the church, there were many martyrs. They were taking away those who professed their faith in Jesus and put to death. And sometimes the catechumens who were waiting for the waters of baptism, usually then all on Easter, were taken and they were put to death. And as they were being put to death by fire or by torture, they were asked, do you believe in Jesus Christ? Are you a Christian? And they say, we desire to be so. And therefore, their death comes as a way to enter into heaven. We use the term sometimes when we're starting something new and it's very difficult. We say we're baptized by fire in this particular job or this particular illness. It's true. The fire is the burning away of earthly things so that we are made pure in God. This baptism by fire is also important to us who hold sacred all children from the moment of conception until their birth. And those who end in abortion are truly martyrs of the church, and they are baptized by fire as well. So I hope this question helps you not only to know that super soakers are not the safe way nor appropriate way for baptism, even during a pandemic, to know the difference of these baptisms so that you can educate, comfort, and allow others to know how God's desire for us, even if it doesn't come through water, can be that of the parents, or even in a situation of death on behalf of the faith. So remember, saints are forged in times like these. So let us all become saints and stay safe in the Lord. Well, I hope you did better on the quiz this time than last. I remember many people struggled with these concepts of baptism, but the baptism of fire and desire and water are the 3 baptisms that are very important for us to realize that we undertake. It is truly a baptism of fire that we go in with Jesus and to carry the cross. And knowing that we've already been baptized in water, we are sanctified and consecrated to be priest, prophet, and king, to be able to follow him. And our desire always is to stay safe in the Lord.